Chris Kelsey here with
Matt Howell.
On this episode of The First Run, Matt and I caught up with our buddy Richard Linklater, the director of such classic film as Dazed and Confused and Boyhood and the After Dark Sunrise Before Thing.
Good job.
I haven't seen those. But we're going to talk about his latest, Everybody Wants Some. We're going to tell you about Spies Like Us, the much heralded 80s classic from the our youth as our marathon of revisiting our youth continues. And we'll be talking about that film with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd. Does that film still hold up to this day? Did it at the time? We're also going to do one of my favorite segments, Call It, where we are presented with a couple options and we got to choose one or the other. And so there's that. Matt, I'm not confident with my call-outs this week, but maybe there's some hidden jewels in there. There's some hidden gems. We'll come across.
I'll be honest with you. I struggle with Call It a lot. Call It's a tough bit for me. So we'll see.
Interesting. All right. Well, let's hear a little bit from Everybody Wants Some with 2 exclamation points.
Welcome to college. Get ready.
I'd like to introduce you to the new guys on the team. Guidelines for living here. 1, no alcohol in this house. 2, no girls in those bedrooms.
You guys sure coach isn't gonna know if we've been drinking?
Are you sure coach isn't gonna know if we've been drinking? We're drinking, man. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we are.
Okay? Yeah.
Cheers for the beers. Full throttle to the bottle.
Keep saying words like that.
This is college, Jake.
You bring who you are, never who they want. And that, my friend, is when it gets fun.
College is the greatest.
Borrowing this.
Hey, wait, hey, you returned that with 1 scratch on it? Look. What?
What? What?
What?
That guy's weird.
Matt, Everybody Wants Some. So everybody remembers Dazed and Confused, right? Basically what launched the career of Matthew McConaughey. Can we say that? Is that a fair statement?
That is an absolutely fair and accurate statement, I would say.
So Richard Linklater now goes forward a few years, and now it's 1980, and we have a team of college baseball players. And this is a couple days before the season, and well, I should say school is about to begin. And we have a new kid who moves into town. His name is Jake, played by the effervescent Blake Jenner. And it's just him adapting and getting to know his new teammates, his roommates, and all the hijinks and hilarity that ensues as these guys basically just drink and party their way through the last few days before school starts. And softball, college baseball begins in earnest. Matt, the film has got some glowing reviews. The kids on Rotten Tomatoes all adore the movie. Everybody says it's another Linklater home run.
I see what you did there.
I just thought of it on the fly. Oh.
Wait a minute, funny one.
Wait a minute. Thank you. Exactly. So
I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that.
I am. I can't believe it's been 300 episodes and I had no idea the damn thing existed. Yeah. So Matt, talk to me. Why did I struggle so much with at least the beginning of this film? Do you have any ideas?
Yeah, because it's kind of aimless and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's
but
not.
That's it, man. We're just partying and hanging out and being bros.
I know, and here's the thing. I was thinking back to, I have a real affection for Dazed and Confused, but I was thinking back as I'm watching this movie and being thoroughly underwhelmed probably by the first half of this. Mm-hmm. But I think I didn't really like Dazed and Confused that much either. I think I liked it more on successive viewings, but the first time I saw it, I wasn't blown away by it. So I don't know. I think the characters are a lot different. Obviously, it's not a cross section; they're just a bunch of jock bros, and
right.
it's not as I don't know. It just didn't pull me in, and it sounds like about the same for you.
Yeah, especially in the beginning. It started off with me not have. I feel like there were no likable characters in the film for at least the first half hour for me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's kind of just annoyed me, and then I started doing some real soul searching about this film afterwards. There's two things I want to talk about today.
You did some soul searching from this?
I did. I was trying to figure out what it is because the film grew on me. All right, by the end of the film, not the end, but as the film progresses, and by the end, I was on board. All right, I was enjoying the movie. Now, you're right. There's really no narrative arc in this thing whatsoever. Nothing really happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's about just these guys hanging out, getting to know each other, as we said. So, and that's fine. If that's what your movie is, that's fine. I'm not going to penalize you for not having an arc if your movie doesn't have an arc. It's not supposed to have an arc, right? I can't hold that against you. So, and I think partly what it is how just I never got to party like that in college. That stuff is totally foreign to me. Now, granted, drinking age was 21 by then, and we had AIDS, so we couldn't really hang out like that. But let's be honest, that's not what was holding me back. All right? Let's all be clear.
Right.
So I think part of it is my own deep-seated kind of. I really think that's part of it. I think that, so, and I think once I was able to get past that, I was able to enjoy the film more. And I don't know. I think, listen, Linklater does a great job of setting this up, right? It does feel like it's 1980 through and through, right? The short shorts on the guys and just some, I don't know. There are a lot of touches he just absolutely knocks out of the park. I know.
You are my friend. Hey-o.
So,
yes.
So anyway, so it's a lot. It's interesting. It's a great little character study about these kind of people in this kind of time. I enjoyed it by the end, but I still want to stress this. I still didn't really have any affection for any of the characters in the film, even by the end of it.
True.
I was, even when it ended, I was kind of like, all right, I'm glad this is over.
Right.
I enjoyed it, but there's no repeat business for me on this one whatsoever. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I mean, there's definitely no future Matthew McConaughey putting out an iconic role with all of like maybe 5 lines in the whole thing. I mean, even the unsympathetic characters in Dazed and Confused were more interesting and sympathetic than all these guys were bland for the most part. And what's interesting, I didn't know this. I was reading about this film, and I guess Linklater was. He went to college on a baseball scholarship. So this is, I think, partly based on his experience, before he kind of abandoned that to go do, theater and film and stuff like that. So I think, it kind of gives you a slice of life into a world that a lot of us, I guess, don't really get to see. He does have affection for these characters. I mean, it's not like, look at these douchebag, womanizer guys that, for the most part, it's like, they're just crazy college kids. They're just, boys being boys or whatever. But I'm with you. I mean, for the most part, this type of movie is lives and dies on the likability of the characters, and most of them are just kind of blah. And the ones that aren't blah are usually like, these guys sucks. So
yeah, I'm wondering like how much of my assigned douchiness to the characters is earned, or how much of it is, as you said, is my own resentment and jealousy of not having been able to live through any of that. I think it's maybe I'm going 60-40 douchey to my resentment. I'm not sure.
Right. But we have different sensibilities these days. I mean, I'm surprised that it's done as well as it has with critics, because kind of like the casual womanizing and all this stuff that's kind of really rampant throughout the movie.
Yeah, but that's I mean, that's more the way it was back then, right? Not womanizing per se, but I mean the way stuff is portrayed. I feel like that it was accurate, that just people went out and people in college. Listen, I went to a very small art school with no dorms, so I have no real experience with this. My understanding is that though, you go out and you party with somebody you're attracted to, and maybe you hook up with them. No foul, as long as you're both consenting adults and nobody's too inebriated, no harm, no foul. And I feel like back then in 1980, it was much more game on for that kind of stuff. I'm not going to count the game on as a pun. We're gonna.
I'm not saying that it's not accurate. I think yes, especially as we've gone through our 80s rewind here, the kind of different sensibilities. I'm just saying that I'm surprised it's not you know, just in some of these critics' reviews that are very glowing, that it hasn't garnered more attention.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. And I personally don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, and nor do I think it's something that should be called attention. I'm surprised. Maybe pleasantly so.
All right. There's one thing I want to talk about. Actually, there's two things that really that stuck out to me that made me really spend some time with myself and think about myself and my issues. And there are many. I have a hang-up with the C word.
Okay.
If you're not familiar with what I'm saying, I'm talking about the
Tuesday?
No, actually, I have no problem with that word whatsoever. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, but the C word for the male genitalia. I'm gonna try and keep this as PG as I can.
Gotcha.
Right.
Okay.
I don't know what. It's very visceral. It's got a hard impact to me. Right. I have no issue with the D word whatsoever. But when I hear the C version of that word, it slaps me in the face. Not literally a C slapping me in the face. I'm just seeing the use of the term is very brutal to me, and I don't know what it is. I don't know.
There's a lot of double entendres in this little speech here, by the way. It's very forceful. It slaps you in the face.
Again.
Very hard.
What? That's not. I was going for this. Thank you. No, I don't. And I'm going to stop with the sound effects now. So we've lost both of our listeners. No, I feel like, I don't know. Do you have anything like that word-wise? Maybe even specifically to the C word, but it really has a visceral punch to me that I recoil whenever I hear that word. I'm like, all right, yeah, let's move on. Let's not use that word so much.
Not really. I mean, here's the thing. I would never say it like in conversation or anything. And I would never, the only way I would say it is if it was like a real insult, like I would say that dude is a C or something, you know? But I mean, listening to it, it doesn't like make me recoil or anything like that. No.
But if you're in the moment or something's happening and you say the S my D, it's not as it's not as impactful as S my C. S my C seems much more.
I don't disagree with you. I would never use the term personally in any kind of situation that you're describing.
So I'm not. All right. I don't know. I just never liked. I just don't like that word.
You just don't like it. You're just too sensitive.
It is
too sensitive. Yeah.
I don't know why, because I think it's used a lot in the movie, so it just made me really made me really think about my hang up on that word and why it bothers me as much as it does. I'm not even sure really why. It's just so it's mean. I don't know. All right, shoot us an email at feedback@thefirstrun.com. We have a lot of weird. This is a wide show. We cover a lot of ground.
Wide open.
So
please let us know your thoughts on the C word. Both of them, really. Either one. They're probably analogs to stuff.
How weird is it in the UK, the C word for the ladies is totally acceptable. It's like, you know, it doesn't have any impact whatsoever.
Yeah.
And bloody is like the F word to them. It's interesting. Anyway, shoot us an email, feedback@thefirstrun.com. What do you think of Everybody Wants Some? What do you think about my diatribe about the C word and my jealousy of not having partied like Blake Jenner and his bland crew? Okay.
Bland but dreamy crew.
Yes.
Makes all the difference, my friend.
Now, I think isn't one of the guys in this though was in what was the show from the guy Scream Queens? Doesn't he play like one of the clueless boyfriends in that?
Maybe. I don't remember.
I watched like the first 5 or 6 episodes of that, and I lost track of it. And I never really caught up with it. So, but I still want to see how it ends because I did enjoy that show. Anyway, what's coming up on Blu-ray and DVD, Matt, this upcoming Tuesday, May 3rd. By the time the show's posted, this will have passed, unfortunately, most likely. Joy is being released. Now, everybody loves Jennifer Lawrence. I didn't even mean to do that either. Everybody. So, Jennifer Lawrence's movie, Joy, is coming out. Now, I actually didn't get a chance to check out Joy. Matt, did you ever see that one?
I have not seen it. I'm not a huge fan of Jennifer Lawrence.
No, you're not a big fan of J-Lo?
No, not really.
Well, she's been teaming up, of course, with David O. Russell for the last few rounds, and this seems to be one of the ones that didn't really hit, didn't land, right? It was supposed to possibly have a big awards push, but it didn't connect. I don't know. I'd still like to check it out, so here's your big chance. Blu-ray digital copy. Target has its own exclusive making of featurette on the film as well. The tween alien invasion film, The Fifth Wave, starring Chloe Grace Moretz, gets its Blu-ray release. You can check that out. New to Blu-ray, 30th anniversary Steelbook edition of the most testosterone dripping straight male action film of all time, Top Gun. Includes commentary by producer Jerry Bruckheimer, Tony Scott, the director, and obviously this is an older feature. Danger Zone, the making of music videos, of course, for Danger Zone, Take My Breath Away, Heaven in Your Eyes, and of course the Top Gun theme. And I think possibly the biggest and most important impact Top Gun has had in culture, Matt, I think it's got to be Archer. I think the impact to Archer alone is enough for me to always maintain Top Gun if it ever were to fall in the Call It segment. Easy Rider from Criterion, a new restored high-definition digital transfer supervised by the director of photography, Laszlo Kovacs, with an uncompressed monaural soundtrack. Alternate 2.1 and 5.1 surround soundtracks as well. 2 audio commentaries featuring Dennis Hopper, another with Hopper and Peter Fonda separately. And then, Matt, have you ever seen City Heat, the Clint Eastwood movie with him and Burt Reynolds?
No, I have not.
It's not as horrible as you think, but it's really bad. But it's like the two of them work kind of well in the film, and it has some kind of funny moments in it, but overall it's a disaster. City Heat coming out on Blu-ray, as well as the Clint Eastwood film True Crime. Okay, not as better than Bloodwork, but that late. But not as good as Absolute Power. You had that run in the 90s and early aughts of films that just were kind of like, this is one of those. True Crime. Matt, your straight to DVD pick of the week. I'm going to go with Sniper. Excuse me, Sniper Special Ops.
Oh, yeah, you gotta clarify. You don't want to get Marky Mark mad at you.
Chandler, played by Steven Seagal, is sent to a remote Afghan village to Special Ops military force. Wow, I can't actually read this thing. It's really poorly written. All right, I'm just going to read it to you the way the copy was given to us by the studio who made the film. Chandler, Steven Seagal. I'm reading this verbatim. Chandler, played by Steven Seagal, are sent. So this individual guy are sent to a remote Afghan village, top special ops military force, led by expert sniper Sergeant Jake Extract, an American congressman being held by the Taliban. The special ops military force, led by expert sniper Sergeant Jake Rescue. The problem is Jake Rescue is one word. Jake Rescue mission is a success, but Jake separated after a special ops military force led by expert sniper. A lot of expert snipers. Sergeant Jake Firefight. Now Jake Firefight is one word. With the enemy, stays behind to help an injured soldier. There's no R at the end. Listen, get your ass together. If you're going to sell a C-level action film, at least do it right. Come up with a cohesive, understandable copy for people to read. That's part of why I chose it. I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this really what you came up with? I don't know if the guy had a stroke and he wrote it like a week later. I don't know what it is. But if you want to see Steven Seagal as a sniper, here's your big chance in Sniper Special Ops. Matt, I'm going to segue into the next thing here. I want to talk briefly, just quickly, because it ties into your streaming pick of the week. And I'm going to go, and if you have one, I'd love to hear your thoughts. But I'm going to go with Blade Runner, which is on Netflix right now. But it's the it's the original theatrical cut.
Interesting, with the voiceover.
Yes.
Okay.
And I confess, I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen this version of it since it first came out. It's been that long. And I started rewatching it again the other day. I'm only about half an hour into it. And it's jarring with the voiceover. It really just having Harrison Ford explaining everything to you as you go kind of does take some of the magic out of the film, at least half an hour in. Which got me thinking, do you have the Blade Runner set on Blu-ray?
I do not. No, I don't.
All right. We'll have to see if we can track this way down some. I thought it might be fun for the next marathon is to watch all 5 versions of Blade Runner that are out.
Wow.
There's the director's cut. There's a work print cut, which I have. There's the director's cut, and there's the extended cut, and then there's one more, right? I can't remember what it is. Anyway, I don't know. If we could figure that out, that would be kind of a fun thing to do, is to get together and just kind of talk about all the iterations of Blade Runner. Hopefully, maybe we won't want to try to kill ourselves. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds very it's hardcore. That's hardcore film stuff right there.
That's it. And we're only softcore film talk, supposedly.
Right.
But is there anything floating around on the streaming services that you'd want to mention? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah, I've been focused on the TV. I haven't really been watching anything on streaming lately, unfortunately.
Which leads me to my next question then. How far through are you with Daredevil on Netflix?
I'm up to his trial of the Punisher, so I'm on like episode 6, I think.
I'm only on episode 3 still.
Okay.
I only barely started episode 3, and
Yeah.
I'm really behind on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I think it's because life. But
It's very unfortunate.
a lot of stuff that I just especially I feel like the streaming stuff. I'm curious for your opinion on this. The streaming stuff, since it's always there and available, it gets pushed to the side.
I
And I
100%
don't
agree
follow
with
up with it. Well, I don't follow up with it as quickly and as urgently as like Better Call Saul. I watch that within 24 hours every
Right.
time,
that. Right.
but never live. But I do watch it within 24 hours.
Right.
But the streaming, and I'm wondering if the streaming stuff is going to end up shooting itself in the foot, because then it'll be one of those things where it's always available and you never actually catch up with it.
You never finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess in the summer it's got to pick up, but I'm with you. Like I still haven't even finished Jessica Jones. I'm like on on episode 9, maybe 10. So I've still got like 3 or 4 episodes of that to watch. Yeah, I've got like a long list of things I want to check out on the different streaming services, but just haven't getting to them. Got to watch the stuff on the DVR, you know.
There's a finite amount of room on there. That's the
There
problem.
is.
So, okay, let's just
Let's just pull this Band-Aid off.
yeah. Let's hear a little clip first from Spies Like Us.
Mm.
Here we are. I'm Hadley, internal medicine, and Dr. Lafong, communicable diseases, Dr. Boyer, bacteriology, and Dr. Stinson, Marston, and Gill of the Northampton Trauma Institute, and Dr. Imhouse of the Zurich Relief Fund. These are our newly arrived surgeons, Drs. Trowbridge and Greenbaum.
Doctor?
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 Doctor? Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
Doctor?
And Doctor.
Well, we miss anyone?
So clearly, Matt, we were not fans of Spies Like Us, were we?
No.
So why
this
don't you?
movie was unbearably unfunny.
Yeah. So why don't you? In case anybody's never seen it, why don't you set it up for us? What is Spies Like Us about?
Let's see if I can even get this right. So basically, the government, it's obviously the height of the Cold War. They are, what is it they're trying to even do? Like something with nuclear secrets or something? But basically what it
The
boils
Russians have a mobile nuclear missile that they're trying to.
Yes, thank you. So basically what it comes down to is they're going to send out 2 teams of spies. One is like the actual James Bondy, whatever, hardcore CIA operatives, and the other are going to be a couple of expendable decoys that they get from their own ranks or whatever. And those 2 expendable decoys happen to be Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, and of course
At the nadir of their comedic powers.
I know, and hilarity ensues for the next 2 hours, which
Felt a lot
was
longer.
it did feel a hell of a lot longer.
I can't. And I think this is the film where Dan Aykroyd met Donna Dixon too, right? His eventual wife. Is it?
Okay.
I think that's the case.
No, I have no idea.
I think the best thing about this film for me, Matt, was spotting the cameos. You get
Yeah.
B.B. King, which
Yeah.
the thing is, I didn't recognize any of these people when I first saw it, obviously, because I was a kid. The thing came out in
Right.
'85. I was 10 years old. I
Right.
remember thinking this movie was hilarious at the time. Good Lord. Terry Gilliam, Monty
Wow.
Python legend, Sam Raimi in
Mhm.
the film, Joel Cohen, and of course, the gorgeous Frank Oz. So I met him once, actually. Nice guy.
Very nice.
Either way, yeah, this thing is just an unmitigated disaster. I mean, it's I shouldn't say this. I mean, it's directed by, it's got a great pedigree, you'd think, right? John
Yeah.
Landis is the
Yep.
director.
Yep.
You got Aykroyd and Chase, and Aykroyd wrote it's his idea, and he developed the screenplay with a couple other people. But you're right. It's criminally unfunny at times,
Yeah.
like painfully unfunny.
The jokes are just bad. They're just bad. So bad.
I felt like when I was watching it, my notes are like, you know what? I feel like I could have written this movie in high school.
Mm.
You know, it's that kind of, some of the humor is that juvenile and not smart. Oh, and of course, I forgot the greatest cameo of the whole film. You have Bob Hope has a quick little playthrough.
I know, yes, he does.
I did enjoy that. And the only things I really seem to enjoy at all in the film is one or two Chevy Chase takes. One of his, I'm assuming, were ad-lib moments.
Right.
A couple times, and that's really it. That is it.
Yeah.
I was just shocked by how incessantly dumb this thing was.
Yeah. It's really jarring to watch because, and for me, it's because all the kind of baggage that Chevy Chase has with him now and all the stuff that came out, like, you know, nobody on Saturday Night Live even really liked him, you know, all the stuff you hear about him on Community and stuff. It's hard for me to kind of separate that for now. And it just wasn't funny. And neither was Aykroyd. I mean, even just all the stuff around the Russians in the desert and their pastels and you know, the whole doctor bit that went on just interminable. It was so bad. Like, it was just something like, it was like one of these jokes where it goes from unfunny and they just kept going with it, hoping it would come back around. But no, it was just awful. I mean, everything about it was just cringeworthy. I was like, I'm really mad this is not 90 minutes and it's a full 2 hours and I'm sitting here watching this.
I know, that's, yeah. Well, it's not. It says 102 minutes. So that's what, 100? That's almost, it's 10 minutes shy.
Yeah.
All right, not a little more. But yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But there's a Ray Harryhausen cameo.
Mm.
So it's got that going for it. And Vanessa Angel's first big role.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
No,
yeah, it was this is by far the worst of our movies that we've watched on this marathon.
I think that's a fair point. And I think next week is when we got to start doing our prep work. That's going to be our marathon. No, it's not next week. I guess we can do it next week, right? Because War Games is the last film.
War Games is the last one, yes.
So we could do it next week.
Yeah.
Our awards ceremony. We've got to come up with a good name for that. I don't know what it'll be. I'm sure I'll come up with something brilliant. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. I was so disillusioned with it. Not that I thought it was going to be some big comedic, classic that I'd forgotten about.
Right.
But I did remember at one point thinking that when I was younger that it was funny. I remember laughing probably like the whole thing with the G-force thing when they're getting zipped around over and over again. And it's just every time. And those quick cuts to all the tests that they had done to him, getting dumber and dumber as it progressed. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
It's making me angry talking about it right now.
Yeah, same here. I'm not even going to give you the email address because I don't want any emails on this either. Let's just all pretend none of this happened.
Yep. Bottom of the list.
There you go.
10 out of 10.
All right. So let's do it, Matt. Let's Call It.
All right, let's.
You start. You son of a bitch!
You wish to add something to our discussion, Dr. Ryan?
Well, sir, I was just thinking that perhaps there's another possibility we might consider. Raimi might be trying to defect.
Do you mean to suggest that this man has
Proceed, Mr. Ryan.
Well, Raimi has trained most of their officer corps, which would put him in a position to select men willing to help him. And he's not Russian. He's Lithuanian by birth, raised by his paternal grandfather, a fisherman. And he has no children, no ties to leave behind. And today is the first anniversary of his wife's death.
Oh, come on. You're just an analyst. What can you possibly know what goes on in this mine?
I know Raimi is, General. He's nearly a legend in the submarine community. He's been a maverick his entire career. I actually met him once at an embassy dinner. Have you ever met Captain Raimi, General?
So if you're not familiar with Call It, this is the one we present a couple options to each other, and we have to choose one, no matter the consequences. All right, so let me ask you, Matt. John Krasinski has been cast as Jack Ryan in a new Amazon streaming series, which I think is good. I can buy that. I think that's an interesting casting. I like Krasinski. I'm curious. I know I don't have Amazon Prime, so I'll probably never see the show, but I think it's interesting.
All right.
So I have two call-outs that I can't decide on. So I'll let you choose. Here's the beauty of call-out. I'm going to let you choose which one of these questions you want to answer.
Okay, very good.
But don't be a coward and take the second question.
Okay. Well, gee. All right, cool.
What's the better Jack Ryan film? Hunt for Red October or Clear and Present Danger?
Okay.
That's question one.
Okay.
Who's the better Jack Ryan? Alec Baldwin or Ben Affleck? No.
Wow, such tough choices.
I actually had Harrison Ford in there. I had Alec Baldwin or Harrison Ford.
Okay.
But I feel like that's the layup. I think everybody would generally go with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I would agree. So I'll answer the first one. So this is, you said Clear and Present Danger, not what was the other one he did?
Patriot Games.
Patriot Games.
I think Clear and Present Danger is a much better film than Patriot Games. So, well, if you think Patriot Games was better, then answer with Patriot Games.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna go with Clear and Present Danger over Hunt for Red October. I think both of the Harrison Ford are better than the Hunt for Red October. And
why is that? I think you're very wrong. So why is that?
Just from what little I can remember about the two, I think I don't know if I like I said, I think I prefer Harrison Ford generally as Jack Ryan. I think Alec Baldwin's a little too smarmy. He doesn't really sell it for me. Although I did like, the Hunt for Red October has, the whole sub, combat and that is probably very tense and probably the better stuff. I mean, the other stuff is more straightforward though. And what really takes me out of it, Sean Connery, put forth a little effort. Come on, man. You can't hide your horrible Scottish accent for one freaking movie to even try to be a Russian captain.
Dare you, sir?
It's just like what he played the Frenchman in Highlander or Spaniard in Highlander.
No, he was a Spaniard. And the Frenchman was the Scottish guy, all right?
Yeah. I honestly, I haven't seen those movies in probably 10, 12 years. I think as a whole, I still seem to remember liking Clear and Present Danger better than Hunt for Red October.
Well, that's a ridiculous statement. Hunt for Red October is the best film of the series, hands down. I think Alec Baldwin was a fine job as Jack Ryan. Fine job.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have seen the series continue with him in the role. I think Harrison Ford is great, and I like him as Jack Ryan, and he's probably my default Jack Ryan. But I would like to see what Alec Baldwin ended up doing with that series. Unfortunately, he decided not to come back, which was just stupid. But I would go Hunt for Red October as the better film. And remember, the other film goes away forever. And then I would choose, I'd probably have to end up going Harrison Ford, though. Which doesn't make any sense because
So basically neither one would exist.
So for consistency's sake, I'll stick with Alec Baldwin because I would rather have, if I had to lose everything, I would rather have Hunt for Red October. That's the one for me that has the highest rewatch value.
Okay. Very good.
There. See, I saved it.
Yeah, you did. You nailed it. Snatched it out of the jaws of defeat. All right, so I'm not even sure this is going to work because I don't know how much you watched. One of the things I'm going to talk about here.
If it's Game of Thrones, I haven't seen a single episode yet this season.
Oh, okay. That's not Game of Thrones.
Okay.
All right, so we're living in the age of streaming services, as Chris and I talked to. So it kind of is giving life to things that may not have gotten another chance at some point. So Mads Mikkelsen, who we at the show are big fans of, he was in the show Hannibal. Chris, I don't know. Did you ever watch Hannibal?
No, I have not seen it.
It's an excellent, excellent show. Canceled before its time, unfortunately, before they could really get into a lot of the Silence of the Lambs type stuff. But Mads Mikkelsen says, he and everybody else, they're really open to doing it. They're trying to, see if they can get any interest with, Amazon or Netflix to see if it could get picked up. Although the guy who's the showrunner, whose name is escaping me at the moment, he is busy right now doing American Gods for Stars. But they all want to do it, and there's a chance that it'll come back on a streaming service. Kind of the flip side of that, there was a film, I think I liked it a lot more than you did, Dread. There's also will you call it the Raid knockoff? Yes.
Yeah, the Raid Part 3, Dread or something. Yeah. Listen, I don't not like Dread. I actually really like that film. I think it's very well done. It's just that it just takes the plot of the Raid and then puts Dredd in that role. That's all.
Well, I saw Dredd first, so I really enjoyed it. But also, Carl Urban is saying that they're trying to talk with Amazon or Netflix to try and get it kicked off as like a 10-episode series. So, call it. Now, this is going to be difficult for you because obviously you didn't watch one of the episodes, but or one of the series. But you can only have one of those two series. Would you rather have Hannibal or Dredd as a series on streaming service?
That's a layup for me because I've only seen one, so it would have to be Dredd. I haven't seen Hannibal. I hear it's quite good. I do love me some Mads, but I've been pushing for Dredd for a while. I'd like to have seen a sequel. I thought it did it well enough.
Yeah,
but I guess not. So I don't know. No, I think I would go Dredd at this point, obviously. But this is a harder question for you. So what do you got?
I'd really like to see more Dredd. I just don't know how well it would work as a TV series. I think that would be kind of difficult, and I don't know what kind of budget they would work for. So I'd probably go with more Hannibal. I'd like to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if they do it. I think maybe more like TV movie of the weeks, maybe like once every 6 months or once a year we get a 2-hour Dredd, or they do like a truncated thing we do with the BBC where you just have like a 3 or 7 episode arc or something like that.
Yeah,
series. I don't know. Interesting. All right, Matt. Call it. What's the best, I should say, non-Star Wars J.J. Abrams directed film? Here are your options. MI3. Remember, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Mm-hmm.
Star Trek or Star Trek Into Darkness or Super 8.
Ugh. Best directed.
Well, what's his best film that he helmed that's not Force Awakens? And remember, the others go away.
So those are the only other 4 movies he's directed?
Yep. That's what shocked me. Yeah. I was surprised it was that he's been involved with a bunch.
Yeah.
But those are the only ones he's directed.
Jeez. I guess I'm not blown away by any of those. I guess I keep the original Star Trek. Into Darkness had its problems. MI3, it's good, and Philip Seymour Hoffman's great in it, but I mean, obviously, it wasn't really dependent on him. I mean, Ghost Protocol and the last one were way, way, way better. And Super 8 was just generally underwhelming. So I would go with Star Trek. At least then you have that ensconced. You have something that was successful, and you could move forward, hopefully, with something maybe even better than Into Darkness.
Yeah, this was tougher for me. For me, I agree with you, but it's between Star Trek and MI3. Mm-hmm. I love Philip Seymour Hoffman's performance in that film so much. It's one of my absolute favorite villain portrayals in cinematic history. That's how much I love it. But I can't. I think he just nails Star Trek. He really does. And maybe, like you say, maybe he trips up a little bit with Into Darkness because they're so focused. They're too focused on Khan and hitting all those points, right? That they forgot to kind of make a really fun, enjoyable Horatio Hornblower in space, which is why Star Trek II: Wrath of Khan was so successful.
Right.
So, but I'd probably have to go his Star Trek relaunch. I think that if I had to choose one that's not Force Awakens, it's that one.
Okay. All right. So, Chris.
Yes, Matt.
We're comic book fans on this show, and that is part of the cultural zeitgeist right now. So let's play a little bit of revisionist history here. So we're in the middle of the DCU really trying to get off the ground. We've had Superman, Man of Steel, and what some people would call a B movie, some would call maybe C-, maybe D+, for Batman versus Superman as the entries in the DCU. Now let's go back. Let's say that Marvel was starting right at the same time. Let's say we've had Iron Man, and we're in the midst of Phase 1 here. So, super fan, what do you stick with? Do you stick with the DCU as it is today, or ignoring Phase 2 and beyond for Marvel? Do you keep with Marvel Phase 1?
All right, so if
Iron Man, Incredible Hulk.
We'd be 2 films in, or do you want to go, or do you want to just?
Well, I'm just gonna lay it all out there, just quickly, so everybody knows what that is.
Just Phase
Iron
1.
Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, and the Avengers was Phase 1.
This is what's interesting. This is actually one of my questions as well. Where do you continue with at this point now? Your version of it, if I'm at phase 1 and I have an underwhelming Marvel Man of Steel and underwhelming, but still solid, very solid, not a 23% or whatever the hell it is right now film.
You say so.
I just don't, it doesn't make any sense to me. Anyway, what do you get? 28%. That is not a 28% film, all right, people? So I would, if you're concreting my feet into the ocean, into the ground, phase 1, I'm DC, and I'm fine. Now, if I'm going current date, when I have Flash to look forward to, which is my favorite comic book character,
which the director has dropped out of,
has left. I have Aquaman coming up with it. One of my least favorite, and I use the term loosely, stars, Jason Momoa,
whose director has also threatened to leave.
Now, he's supposedly today, he intimated that that's
today
not true.
He's fine, right.
But they probably said, here's another $10 million. Don't go in.
Right.
And then a Wonder Woman film upcoming that could be good, and a Suicide Squad film that's under reshoots for a variety of reasons, depending on who you talk to. And I know what I'm getting from Marvel. Keeping in mind, I do not like Avengers 2. I do not like any of the Thor films. But I get Captain America Winter Soldier.
And you get Iron Man.
I get Iron Man.
So even if we change this to say...
I get possibly Civil War, which is possibly the greatest superhero film of all time, from everything I keep hearing.
I know.
I get Ant-Man. Yeah. From this day forward, I might actually go Marvel, let DC blow up and fail, and then start again in 3 or 4 years.
All right.
I honestly think that I would do that.
So knowing what you know, you would let DC die on the vine, go Marvel forward.
As long as you can tell me in 5 years I get another shot with DC. Okay. When the dust settles and David Goyer has been popped in a rocket and sent to the moon, and Snyder has decided to go all artsy. Now he just directs plays in Central Park. If I get those two things, then I'll come back. But I actually think right now I may have to go Marvel, because it kills me to say that. It really does.
I know it does.
This doesn't wait. This doesn't include television universe, correct?
No, it doesn't. Just movies.
If I lose Flash and Arrow and now Preacher, then we'd have a huge problem on our hands. All right, but just movies, okay.
Yeah. There was a lot of quantifiers with that. A lot of quantifiers, a lot of qualifiers on that little on that.
Where do you fall on the multiverse here spectrum? Where are you?
Well, yeah, go? But I mean, I'm a huge Marvel fan. I'm much more of a Marvel fan than I am DC.
This is a lot easier for you.
It's a lot easier for me, and honestly, I like the big budgets, but other than. I'm looking forward to seeing what Affleck does with Batman. Like, there's literally nothing I'm so excited for. Like, I'm much more excited for anything they put on TV versus what they're putting in theaters, because it's just been dreck for me.
Yeah,
I mean, Goyer, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he was trying to shepherd in the Sandman. Goyer got involved, and he basically was making the Sandman a punch fest, to where this guy who's been working on this for 10 years dropped out of it. Like, they just don't know what they're doing. They don't even know what they have. Pisses me off.
Goyer's the absolute wrong guy. If you go back in time, because we've been doing this show for a few years now, 300 episodes in. This is 303. I've said from the beginning, Goyer is the wrong guy. You can go back to discussions, I think, on Blade Trinity is really where it all started, because he wrote and directed that. All right? If you want to know who he is as a creative force in movies, you watch that film. And you'll know exactly why they're having the problems that they're having. All right. Hate that guy. Anyway. All right, I have 2 more. I don't know what you got. Quickly, Matt, who's your best cinematic Alfred? Michael Gough, Michael Caine, or Jeremy Irons?
Michael Caine.
I want to give it to Irons, but Caine had more of an impact because he was in 3 films.
Yeah.
I may reverse that, though, and go with Irons if we get him in a Batman standalone film. He has officially been re-signed for the Justice League movie. We'll see if that ends up coming up to anything. I'm assuming you don't have any more?
I have one more.
Oh, great. What do you got?
Okay, so you got Infinity Gauntlet. You've seen Thanos, right? You know, everybody knows comic book Thanos is a ripoff of Darkseid. But you know, obviously Thanos has now come first, and the casual fans are going to think the opposite. So which one do you think? Get rid of which one in the universe? Should DC just skip Darkseid, or keep him in there and show him what it's really all about?
They can't, because he's teased in Dawn of Justice, one of the strongest superhero films of 2016.
Yeah, the very first superhero film.
One of the strong. But he's teased in that film.
Yes,
Parademons are in the film. All right,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
going to be in the Justice League film. So yeah, and he is better than Thanos and his stupid glove and his girlfriend Death. Whatever. That's all he is. He's a lovelorn teenager who's trying to impress Death. That's why he decides to kill everybody in the universe, just to get her to smile at him.
I guess. I mean, I'm not saying it's not stupid. It is stupid, but
but it's Marvel, so it's awesome.
no, I'm really nervous to see how this whole Infinity War thing plays out. It's
the Russo brothers, right? They're gonna knock it out of the park.
We'll see.
They're gonna do a great job. All right, Matt. We like to call it with a real brain twister. You got to choose one of these two films. I've mentioned one of them. I've mentioned the director of both of them. One is a haunted house film in space. The other one features a man who's hunting robots, who may even be one.
It's tough.
Matt, Alien or Blade Runner? Which one do you keep and which one do you get rid of forever?
That is a Sophie's choice of sci-fi cinema right there. Obviously, you know, you get Rutger Hauer's awesome ad-lib Tears in the Rain speech at the end of Blade Runner, but honestly, I'm going to have to go with Haunted House in Space. I'm going to have to keep Alien, if for no other reason than that also brings the joy of aliens into our lives.
That, for me, would be the only reason to hold on to Alien over Blade Runner, is because you would get aliens. But if I had to sacrifice aliens to not get Alien 3, Alien 4, or any of the Alien v Predator films, it might be worth it. I have to go Blade Runner. I have to. I think it's just the world he creates in that film. By the way, do you know that film takes place like in 2 years?
Yeah, no, it's crazy, right?
Where's my flying car? God damn it!
Seriously, where's my post-industrial wasteland?
Exactly. So we got time. We got time, and who knows what Elon Musk has got up his sleeve. So, but yeah, no, I think just the sheer wonder of the film, how it's, you know, it's beautifully shot. It's the way he develops this futuristic world, and no, I think I have to go Blade Runner, just aesthetically in a way. You know.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, that's not really fair. I mean, obviously in Blade Runner, you've got an entire cityscape with all of its architecture, and Alien, you're stuck in a 1970s spacecraft. It's, you know, it's.
But there is something really fascinating about the whole. I've always loved about the Alien films is the retro technology of the future.
Yeah.
You know how it's like the cheap, whatever the company could do in the cheap in order to get people out into space is what they would do. It has that feel to it.
Yeah,
like it's future and past all at once. So
yeah, it's like our employer put us out into space, right? That's what they would give us.
So yeah, all right, that's interesting. We finally had a disagreement. So
we did.
Yeah, interesting. Next week, Matt, it's a big week. Big week. I'd like to say
it's a big week.
I will be seeing Green Room and trying to squeeze in Keanu. We'll see if that happens. We're also talking about War Games to wrap up our 80s retro marathon. And we're going to then we're going to give our awards. We'll figure out what those awards are. I know one of my favorites is going to be Most Offensive Moment. Not just to film Spies Like Us. That can't be your winner, man. Just ineptitude doesn't count.
Yes, but maybe one redeeming moment. I know what it would have to be. Somebody threw out a perfectly good white boy.
We'll do best picture, best performance. It'll basically be the Oscars of our marathon. We'll get into all that next week. Anyway, that's the big show for this week. Shoot us an email, feedback@thefirstrun.com. We'll take an extended break, and we will see you all in a week. Or so.
Or so.
Clint Eastwood and Burt Reynolds in City Heat. Clint is a street-smart flatfoot. Burt is a wisecracking gumshoe. And together, the heat is on.